Yo, 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 Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, all that other good stuff. Man, y'all share these videos, man. Y'all like the page. Y'all help me get out there a little more. I see everybody complaining. Why ain't your page bigger than what it is? You should have 100,000 and this and that like the other guy. Well, I'm not a big promoter, but I try to, do what I can do. So y'all help me out. Y'all share the page. Y'all get people to like this. I come on here more and we can really talk dogs, and I'll focus more on this page for everybody who's dissatisfied with my performance. But let's get rolling. This one is about, when you get your puppy home, your new puppy, or you just now getting into showing, or maybe you already been showing. For those that don't know, I have shown a lot of dogs before I became registry owner and judge and all that stuff. I did start off showing, and I got a few titles, but everybody wants to know about training the dog. I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is just a few basic tips. A few basic tips that may or may not help you. I think they will, though. As far as stacking your dog and training your dog to be a show dog, first and foremost, before you get into a heavy routine of show, make a connection with the dog. You want to make a good connection. If you're showing this dog, you want to make either way, you want to make a good connection with this dog, that you're a friend, you know what I'm saying, and there's a trust level. The reason why I say this is because when that dog is in there performing, it's going to have the same nerves that you have, and sometimes it's going to be even more nervous because it's a weird setting. A lot of times at our shows, we have music, you have other dogs, all these smells, so the dog is like, oh, what the hell is going on here? And if you can get them comfortable and they have that trust level in you, no matter what the situation is around them, they start to be like, okay, well, I know mom is here, dad is here, my buddy is here, whatever y'all relationship may be, and the dog will be really, really comfortable in that. Now, usually I start off very early. I start off sometimes, at like 7-8 weeks if I have the dog here that young, and I start off with just the stacking and getting them in there. And one of my tips is, when you're stacking the dog, I see a lot of y'all nervous. Y'all trying so hard to make the dog stack. Don't be so intense, man. Make this fun. Pet the dog. Love the dog a little bit. Let the dog know that he's doing a good job. We call it baiting, but give him a little bit of a treat or whatever. Pet him. Get the dog to that point to like, hey, I'm doing it right. Yeah, you're doing it right. Good job, good job. Because the more that they think that this is a fun game, they perform better. And it's just like gating. You notice that the dogs that are engaged and they're having a good time, and I look at this as a judge, sometimes these dogs might even do a little bit of a hop. You know what I mean? They get this little hop. They get this pep in their step because they're happy, they're performing, they're doing their job, they're making their master happy, and they're very, very happy with this. You don't want to get into a habit that this becomes a thing where you're dragging the dog, you see the dog's tail tucked between his legs. You don't want that. So the next thing that I will touch on is that dogs have very short attention spans, generally 10 minutes. So it's not going to take you a ton of work, I know quite a few people that in the morning before they go to work, they'll give up 10 minutes. They'll stack the dog. They'll play around with the dog. If they can, they'll go gate the dog. But they do 10 minutes of practice, give them the treats, give them the love, keep them in their routine. When they come home from work, same thing, another 10 minutes. Bam, let me mess around with you. This is how we're going to get the plan. This is how we're going to start our day off. Now that I'm home, we're going to have a little fun, some treats, pet you up. You went through your routine. The dog's happy again. Now it's like, okay. And then at nighttime, it's the same thing. Before we go to bed, it's going to do the same thing. And when you get your dog on this routine 2 to 3 times a day, and the dog gets a correlation that this is a fun thing, and this is, this is my gateway into having some fun. I'm about to get out the crate and get to enjoying my life something for the day, and this is my routine, or however it goes. When that dog becomes an older dog that's ready to show, it's clicked in, it's locked in, it's no nerves, it knows exactly what it's doing. It does it just like any other trick, whether it's sit, lay, or stay. The dog is engaged. Make sure this dog is having a good time, though, and that's why I keep using the word engaged and keeping them and keeping the dog excited and happy about this, because it's very, very important. Marco Suarez had one of the best connections ever with Paco. I had a very good connection with Hallie, a better connection with my boy Castro, but they show almost automatically, and they're very, very, very happy to show for you when you have this great connection and they're comfortable with you. When it gets to a point, you you see all the good handlers are very, very good dog people. When it gets to the point that the dog is not having fun or nervous, you will see it in his performance. Sometimes they don't want to perform at all. Other times the tail is down, the body language is not good. We're judging conformation. So, you know, you want that dog to be, you know, all the way up and happy and just stout and very, very locked in, because even if their nerves are bad and they start to slouch a little bit, it changes the conformation and it changes the way the dog will be judged. I know as a judge myself, typically when I see a dog whose tail is under his legs, I count that against the dog, because either a lot of times to me that's a temperament issue, and it may not actually be a temperament issue as far as, you know, the overall dog, but the dog is just nervous inside the ring, and I can only go off of what I see at that moment. I can't come over to you later and be like, oh, he's not a scary dog. You know, in the ring I can only go off of what I see. So like I say, recap, you know, 10 minutes a day, 2 to 3 times a day. Make sure your dog is loving it. Whether you find a squeaky toy as a reward to them. A lot of dogs just love to be petted. You know, damn near every dog likes some kind of treat that you can reward them with. But you want to do a lot of rewarding, petting, food, toy, or whatever. And you want to stay on a routine. You want to not skip a lot of days. This should be an everyday thing. Like I say, 2 to 3 times a day, where this dog is really, really locked in to the point that be like my boy Castro. I could drop the leash and he would show himself. Literally, he did it one time. I dropped the leash, he went around the ring, came back and stacked by himself. He had did it so many times and knew what he was supposed to do. But you know, most importantly, love that dog. Get a bond with that dog, y'all. And I look forward to seeing y'all in the TBKC ring soon. Much love. Go Browns. Go State.